Hey guys, Michele Perry here with Design to Thrive Creative and WMZ.com. Well, I am super excited to show you today how I use the images from the SC Stockshop stationery collections as realistic mock-ups for my art prints and my stationery design. You know, when you are designing, you're designing stationery, you're designing artwork, creating artwork, you want to be able to have a realistic way to display that either in social media or even when you're sending proofs to clients to get approved for printing. It just makes such a difference to be able to showcase your work in a realistic manner. And so I'm going to take you behind the scenes in the next 10 or so minutes and show you some of my tricks and how I make that happen. So what you need for today is you're going to need Adobe Photoshop. You're going to need a image, preferably from SC Stockshop. You could even go and grab this one. It is basically the flat JPEG of just a photo of an actual area where a print can be inserted, but it's flat. It doesn't have the smart object already attached to it. But this is basically what we're going to be creating together, and I'm super excited. You'll also need to grab an image that you want to insert into the mock-up, and along with this tutorial, I'm also including one of my secret digital mock-up ninja tricks, and that is using real watercolor paper texture as part of the mock-up, because it gives this realistic feel. Because most of us, when we print, we're going to print on the type of paper that has some texture to it, because that's what makes stationery so beautiful. So this just helps it look a lot more realistic. And so I'm giving you the file that I've created and that I use, and that you can download it and add that to kind of your tool chest. And so what you'll do is you go ahead and grab that file, and I'm going to show you one of the ways that it just makes it so much easier is if you go ahead and you pick your little selection tool, the little square box, and you select your image. Then basically what you can do is you go from edit and you go down to define pattern, and then you can call the pattern whatever you want to call it, and then hit OK and save it. I'm not going to do that step because mine's already saved. So, but that's how you can add it to your patterns, which will come in handy in just a minute, and I'll show you why. So here we are. We're going to start with this blank image, and the background it's just a flattened JPEG, so there's no smart objects, there's nothing that's clickable, but we're going to change that in just a sec, and here's how we're going to do it. What I want you to do is to kind of zoom in. Now, if you've got a like a trackpad with Mac, you can use your pinching motions to zoom in and out. So I usually zoom in just enough to give me a little bit more control to make sure that I'm lining up my selection exactly correctly, so I'm not getting any of the shadow or the background. I just want to get the white. And once you have that, and come all the way down to the edge as much as you can, even a little bit more than that. And there you go. So you see how that's pretty much all of the white area. Now what I want you to do is we're going to copy it and we're going to paste it as another layer. Now you can do that from the edit menu. I personally use the shortcut. So I do Command C and that copies it, and then I do Command V right next to it, and that pastes it, and it shows up right here as another layer. Now, what we're going to do with this layer, it just makes me all sorts of happy because it's going to make life so much easier down the road. Before we mess with the layer, though, let's zoom back out so we can see the whole image. Stop. Let's get it to zoom. There we go. Got a little bit happy there with the zooming. Now, on layer 1, what you want to do is you want to right-click on it, and then you're going to come on up here and grab Convert to Smart Object. Go ahead and select that. You'll see a little icon show up. what that does is it makes the layer, it's like a layer within a layer. And you can double click on it, which we're going to do right now, and it opens up. Now let me tell just a second about the why behind what we just did. Why not just take your print and stick it on top of it and size it to fit and, you know, call it good? Well, chances are very likely is the print that you would be, the file and image that you would be inserting would not be the same tonality of color and of lighting that this photograph is. Okay? Like, you don't want to put a bright white background on here because this, even though it's white, it's not bright white. It's more of a soft, almost a light gray because of the lighting. So you want to make sure you're matching the tonality, and the easiest way to do that is the way I just showed you, and that's to actually make a layer of this color itself right here. So now we are going to go over here to, this is the smart object, and now what we're going to do is I want you to double click on layer 1. You double click and it pulls up the layer style box. And if you don't see pattern overlay under styles, you can come up, click the little FX, and you can pick it. It will be hiding right here. But mine's already picked, so I'm going to pick it. And that looks about right. Now, come on down to make sure you're clicked on pattern overlay. And I already have the pattern overlay set to multiply. If it was normal, it would be a little bit brighter, which that's not terrible, but you really want it to be on multiply, because what the multiply blend mode does is it allows the darker color from beneath to kind of meld together with your top file. So it gives it more realistic. It picks up the lighting tone like we were talking about. So now on the scale for this, that's actually right about where we want it. You don't want to bring it in where it's like this, you're looking at like a microscope version of the paper, and you don't want to be so far out here that you can't even see the texture. It just looks like noise. So about 30% is perfect for this file. So that, and now I'm going to go ahead and save this. I've learned the hard way, you always want to save your files at every step. It will make your life so much easier later. Now, interesting, once you've saved it, you can go back over to your file that you're working with, and you'll see it's very subtle, but there is texture on that paper right there, and it looks realistic. So that's how you can look at it and go, yeah, we're doing something good here. It's working. Now, our next step is we're back. Okay, that's smart object, right? And we're working in the smart object. What I want you to do is to go to your image, and you already have it opened. So hit Control A to select all of it, and then hit Control C to copy. Then come back over to your smart object and hit Control V, and you're probably going to get a profile mismatch. Don't worry about it. Hit OK. It's all good. And now you're gonna, here's another little shortcut trick. Hit Command T, and that's transform. And so what we want to do is we want to bring this file so that it actually fits edge to edge perfectly. And that's not quite there yet, so we need to bring that up. There we go. That looks really good. Now you'll notice that this file is kind of got a bright white where the other is not nearly that bright, you see? So what we do to fix that is we go up here right above the file itself in the layers dialog box, is click on normal and then come on down and select multiply. And now you see the color and the texture that is beneath it. So this is like one of my favorite tricks ever in Photoshop when it comes to making mockups. Now you're going to hit Command S and you're going to save. Now you're going to come click over, and there you go, friend. You have just created yourself a gorgeous mockup of your print or of your stationery piece. So that's how it's done. Now, obviously, we need to save it. So go ahead and save, and it's going to come up And let's do this. I don't know, we're going to make like if there was a new mock-up, if there was like a new mock-up file, you know, you had a certain place you want it to go ahead and select that. And print mock-up. Save it as a PSD. Don't flatten it, because what that will allow you to do is, say you want to add a different file in here that matches this beautiful colorway, you can simply double click, open the Smart Object, and insert the file without worrying about having to go through all of the setup that we just did. So it will drastically shorten your workflow and your productivity. So I'm not going to save that. So there we go. Now, finally, obviously you're not going to load it up and show anybody it as a PSD, as a Photoshop file. So you're going to want to come over here and you're going to want to export. Actually, I take that back. I often, instead of exporting, something that's faster is I do a save as. And you can just come here and make sure that you select JPEG. That will flatten the file down and you will have a file that's ready to go. And there you have it, my friends. You can create your own beautiful mock-ups that look realistic and that are matched to the color tone and the kind of the intensity of the light that is native to the picture itself. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments, let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. Also included in this tutorial is kind of a step-by-step checklist that you can download and kind of go through some of the processes that I just took you through with the video. Because I know some of you may be visual learners and like I am, and it's really helpful for me to see a actual checklist when I'm learning kind of a new skill. So it's been wonderful to be with you. Thank you so much, and I hope you find this useful and enjoy using these gorgeous files because they are the best. And I'm so grateful that they're available for those of us who are art folks and stationery designers. So yay, thanks for spending your time with us.